Hey, what's up, people? This is Elijah. Welcome to the channel. This is Glenn's. This is how I see it. We have a guest, special guest to me, my homie Felix. We worked in the church together for some time, and he's always been a good homie where I can just talk to, confide in, even sometimes cry and pray with other people about. And so I really appreciate him taking the time out to talk to us about what is it like being a dad. And welcome to the show, Felix.
Thank you, Alex. Thanks for reaching out to me on this. And like you said, yes, we are boys, and I love. We've always had great conversations, whether we saw things eye to eye or not, but we
You're
still
right.
were able to manly, see eye to eye on things. We never like
Absolutely. Respect each other's opinion
exactly,
or preference, man. That's how it's supposed to be. So,
exactly.
because everybody's different, everybody has a different point of view. So, it's just appreciative that we could have that dialogue, you know. So, like I said, welcome. Thanks for
Thank you.
getting back to me. And so, kind of tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Felix?
Ooh, who is Felix? Wow. I'm a nobody. No,
Tell everybody.
that just wants to tell everybody. um, Nah, man, this guy grew up in north side of Fort Worth. Did nearly 4 years in the Marine Corps. Later
Appreciate
on
your
life,
service, man.
thank you. Later on life, made a mistake, got me a little bit in trouble. Then, uh, what was that? In 2009, I got baptized because I came to Christ, and
Okay.
been able to roll with that and let Him guide me. And sometimes, I'm like, I still sometimes once in a while, oops, I got this, and then I forget I don't. The opportunities I've had opportunities to lead FCA Fellowship Christian Athletes programs at Euless Junior High. I've been able to go to a couple different churches to actually speak to their youth.
That's what's up.
Uh, Became a licensed minister, so I did my daughter's wedding and some other weddings and stuff.
Oh,
So
wow. That's
talk
cool.
about being nervous. That right there, being nervous is doing your daughter's wedding. That
Man, that's kind of nerve wracking right there, man. Did you have to remember something, or was everything written down?
I had everything. I had everything written down, and it's just still being nervous though because I said that was my first wedding.
All right. And then it's your daughter's wedding, so it gotta be
Yeah,
like, yeah.
and
So you
so
you was there. Okay, that's what's up.
and
Did
so
she
yeah, I
ask
was,
you to do that?
huh?
Did she
It
ask
was a
you to
little bit of
do
both. It was a little bit of both type of things because it was one of those like this is the guy that you want to be with the rest of your life. I'll sign off on it, whatever. Heck, I even do it. And that's when the light bulb came on. So I went to Pastor John, talked to him, and next thing I know, I'm at the financial meeting they used to do in the chapel, the monthly meetings.
it?
And of course, Pastor John, he can tell a story about me better than anybody else can.
Yeah.
And he explained everything that was going on and stuff. And he goes, "We're gonna do something different when it comes to whether or not we're voting, me as a minister. Instead of a show of hands, I want to see He goes, I would like to see a show of bodies. Those in favor of Felix becoming a minister, will you please stand up?" And everyone that was in that meeting that night stood up.
What?
Well, they stood up. I was about to drop to the floor because, like, this
What?
is this is not real. This,
What?
I'm like,
Wow.
so man, I was like, I looked at all the people that stood up, and I was like, man, I'm
That's
like,
awesome, man. That
I'm like,
says a lot about you as an individual for people to to
yeah.
to, to vouch for you like that. That's pretty dope, man. Like what made you I guess I'm gonna go to the interview type question,
Okay.
but I'm gonna ask this question because that kind of segues into
Hey,
what we're
whatever.
talking about, right? About this is interview with a dad. I want to know, like, for you to get to that point, like there had to be I mean, you're here now, but there had to be some things prior to that that led you up to the moment where pastor was like, you know what, I think you need to become an ordained minister. So like let's kind of break this apart just a little bit. So
Okay.
how would you describe being the difference between a dad and a father, because to be recommended as a minister, like you have to have some type of responsibility as a father or a dad. However you depend, you can elaborate on what you think the difference is.
Well, like I said before, I remember you posted that question one day on Facebook,
Yeah.
and to me, a dad is someone that you know he's in it to win it to the very end. He's here, he's in the life of the child or children. He's not just a person that just helped make the child, and bills. And to
Okay.
me, that so that anyone can be a father, but not everybody can be a dad. It's always
Okay.
been said.
So you're not a
Like,
sperm, like he's not just a sperm donor.
exactly.
Yeah. That's why I
You
used to
know,
call him.
and like you, man. I see you with your kids, man. You're straight up a dad.
I
You no
appreciate
matter what
that.
you got going on, it's your kids. And I've always respected that. And so with me, is a dad is like I said, it's we're gonna be the ones going through good times, bad times. We're like the unsung heroes at times because we don't.
Yeah,
I'm
for
not
sure.
saying we're doing this for credit because we're not.
Right.
But sometimes, like, think about it this way: you see all these football players, right?
Yeah.
You're the one putting in the sweat with you're teaching them. You're teaching them how to play ball, this, that, right?
Yes.
And what's the first word out of their mouth when they make it on TV? Hi, mom.
Ah.
you know,
Hey, let me give a shout out to my mom. Yeah.
yeah, we're the
Yeah.
ones that did all that. Get them
Yeah.
there. The first word is hi, mom. It's like,
That's true, man. So what made you come to the I guess to be on the show you got to be considered a dad. So when did you realize, or have you always been uh in that mindset of, okay, I I I know what a dad is and I want to be that, or was there something that transitioned you to that, to becoming a dad?
well, here's the thing. Growing up, I did grow up in a dual household, which means I did have a mom and a father.
Okay.
I say father because he was in the house, but I will not have one in the house because
Mhm.
it's just one of the type of growing up like that, and um, everything and the way I always said he didn't teach me. I had friends' dads teach me more stuff, and one thing I always took from that though was the fact I didn't want to be like that. You
Mm,
know, so I reversed that on me in a way, I guess you could say. And see, there's my wife. She had two from previous,
okay.
and I always did my best to be a dad no matter what. And because they both had one, but he was in out, never in the picture type thing.
Okay.
And I figured we're gonna be together. I have to be a dad.
Okay.
And then of course when our son came along, 13, almost 14 years ago, that did it separate. I didn't put it like, okay, Feliciano is my flesh and blood. That's on my only child.
Yeah.
No, I had these other ones.
What made
And
what made you feel that way though?
which
Like,
way?
what made you want to, like, say, okay? Because
Take the
uh,
responsibility?
yeah, because some dudes, like, if a woman got kids, they
Yeah.
not want to be with her because she got kids. So what made you say, okay, I know she got kids, but I'm here to also be their dad? Does that make sense as a
It
question?
was one of those things that I knew we were going to be in this, when we decided we're going to get married, we're going to be a family. It wasn't going to be like me and her only a family and then her kids, type thing.
Right.
We're going to be, and my daughter, she would even say to this day that her biological one is more of a friend, and she always introduced me as dad to her friends
Why do you think that is?
because she didn't like me because no, she did. It's just because I was dad, I was applying rules, I was helping with the rules, I was,
Okay.
and I was helping them grow, and
So they came to you for advice?
yes and no,
Okay.
it's just that she knew that she had me no matter if she needed a shoulder or someone to joke with, because me and my daughter, we always had a interesting relationship where we could always like clown on each other.
Okay.
No feelings were hurt, type
Yeah.
thing. And it's always been like that. And so,
So how old was she when you and your wife got married?
ooh, good question. Let's see. She was second grade, third grade.
Oh,
So she's
okay.
yeah. So it's been a minute or so. She's
Okay.
20.
So she understood, like
Yeah.
she understood that you were not necessarily her dad at that moment,
Yes.
but she was
Yeah.
old enough to recognize that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I got you. So what? So when you talked about previously, that your dad was in the house, but he wasn't in the house. So then what did that make you feel like? Did you have a particular feeling about
Growing up, not really. It
did
wasn't
you
like
recognize that?
wasn't so much like I really like paid so much attention to that. It's like we were so used to him coming from work, fall asleep on the chair, whatever type thing,
Yeah.
and we always saw my mom as being the main disciplinary of the house,
Okay. Okay.
and that's why I say, yeah, he did a few things for us time to time, and I get that, but he wasn't someone that we could go to for advice or assistance or anything,
Mm.
like growing up, man, is like we had trouble with schoolwork, asked for schoolwork help. Next thing I know, if we didn't understand it, it was like a little bit knuckles to our heads because we didn't understand the question.
Mm.
And that's not helping me understand the problem.
Okay.
And
Right.
the whole thing, don't
Yeah.
ask for help no more. I have to do this on my own, I guess, because getting knuckles to the head is not my way of getting help.
Right. Right. That doesn't take away the misunderstanding of this problem.
Yeah.
Like it's not in there. I mean, you knocking, but it ain't coming out.
So that's one thing I said. I don't. We always say we don't want to be like our parents.
Yeah, to a degree, yeah.
To a point. And most time when we say that, it means our parents are doing something right. You know, but
Mm.
it's kind of like the teachers. We always said, "Well, Miss So and So is mean."
Yeah,
But
they said that about me
which
for
teacher
sure.
do you remember the most, though?
You hear my 2-year-old right there.
But what
Night
teacher?
night, baby. Night night.
What teacher do you remember the most? The
Oh yeah,
teacher,
my strict one. Miss
the one.
Jackson in 6th grade for math and Miss King for government in high
Yeah, those
school.
were like our meanest teacher type thing. But we remember them the most because they were the ones actually teaching us the most.
And pushing us.
Yes, and
Yeah.
that's always going to be my mom. My mom has always pushed us no matter what we did. She's loved us no matter what. And so I took
Mhm.
that. That's how I am with the kids. With anybody. You see me how I am with it. How I was with
Yeah.
you. You
Yeah.
know, I wasn't just there with them. I invested into them.
For sure. Yeah. You was with the one group from 7th to 12th
Yeah.
grade, bro. Like, what made you want to do that? Because that's
Uh,
a serious commitment.
it is.
Because people leave the church.
Yes, and that's why I
You
told
know?
the boys too. Like when I first got them in seventh grade, we had a big group of seventh graders, and
I
I told them,
remember. I
I
remember.
go, by the time we reach our senior year, more than half of y'all will not be here no more.
Yeah.
And they kind of looked at me. I'm like, I don't mean that to in a bad way. I'm just speaking truth because some of y'all gonna move to a different church with mom and dad. Some of y'all are not gonna want to invest your time into knowing who God is in your life,
Mm-hmm.
and just whatever y'all can get distracted by the world at a young
Yeah.
age.
Yeah.
And sure enough, by the time you jumped on board with me,
Yeah.
I
I think
didn't.
I came in like their 10th grade year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and and it was true. But we have a great couple ones still. Tate's involved with the church still with the
Yeah.
youth.
So
Uh,
he taught 2 of my kids.
huh?
He's taught 2 of my kids.
Yeah, he was Feliciano's camp leader the last time they went to camp when he first went to camp for seventh grade.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yep.
That your
Reversing it.
student is teaching your
Yep.
kid.
I couldn't ask for a better. I couldn't ask for a better kid to be leading my son.
Man, for real. Yeah, he's leading Joshua in fourth grade, and he was leading Gianna in one, I think, a summer session of some sort, like kids jam or something like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, he's a good dude. Yeah.
And so seeing that, is like, and he has good parents too, and all
Yeah.
that. Those
'Cause he
parents.
was serving before, right? He was serving like
Oh yeah.
that goes to testament right there, that he had good parents and pressing in on him to be active in the church. Yeah. So I mean, this is the whole point that I'm saying. Is that you saw that you missed something when your dad wasn't there, and you didn't want to have that feeling.
Yeah.
You didn't want other kids to experience that same feeling, right? And so
Correct.
as a result, you was like, okay, where is it can I help young people that are missing out on, in this case for the church, you like, okay, I want these people to know the gospel, right? I want these young men to know that I'm here for them as well. Where did that come from? Not where did it come from, but when did you make the commitment to say, you know what, I want to be a leader in the church though? Because you could have went to any other position,
Oh
but
yeah.
why did you choose youth?
Well, one, I've always enjoyed working with youth, even before coming to church. I always, um, we call it, but I knew our youth, are our future. I hate to be like that, but it's just, and I knew, and this is no shot at none of our leaders. A lot of them hadn't dealt with a lot of stuff these youth are dealing with.
Mm,
Um, background for me as well is I've been clean and sober 12 years.
that's dope.
So I know what all that stuff can do.
Right.
And I remember asking people used to tell us when we were younger, don't do drugs, don't do this. And I'm like, well, okay, why not?
Right.
Well, this pamphlet says why not. I know why not.
Right. Right.
From personal experience, why not? And that's how I am. It's like, man, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. I know what it can do to you in your life
Mm,
personally,
yeah.
and I don't want to. If I could save every person, not just spiritually, but if I could just save everyone from going down the wrong path,
Yeah.
I would be glad to. But if I'm just planting that seed, like I told you before we started this about that young man,
Yeah.
knowing that he thought so much of me investing into him that his mom knew about me,
Yeah.
and for her
That's
to tell
big.
me thank you for caring about my son.
That's big.
Even last night when I read that, I got choked up.
Yeah.
And it was like, stuff like that, because it, man, we don't see it all the time. We don't see what we,
How
you
we
know
invested in, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. For sure,
And
man. Like as a teacher, I didn't know like when I was actually affecting a kid. I mean, especially with me being considered a strict teacher, I had no idea who was paying attention in the sense of,
yeah.
if I'm going to make a major impact on their life, because that was the whole goal for me, was to see if the goal was to make an impact on kids' lives. That's really what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm teaching you math, but I want you to get this real life stuff. And so for me, that's why I wanted to be in the youth for reasonable. The other one of the reasons I got into the youth is because when I was with Red Ink Army, that's what we did. I was around youth all the time,
Oh
and
yeah.
I was also a youth pastor at the time. And so when I came to Cross City, first Euless back then, I was teaching in the adult class, and I'm like, man, this is
Right.
frustrating, man. They not, you know. I'm like they don't seem like they really want this word. I'd rather be frustrated with people that are, you know, not really, like I can understand a kid's perspective.
And
Uh,
sometimes the adult world at church now, it's not always fun either, because it's like sometimes they're learning but not learning. They're like doing social hours sometimes.
yeah, right, right. And
It's like
so
I don't mind socializing, but You
gotta get
know,
in this word. We gotta come here. What we here for? You know what
yeah.
I'm
And
saying?
my
We get
thing was with his youth, I always told him, man, it's like I don't want you knowing your parents' God. You got to know God for yourself. You know,
absolutely
and they're like, "What's the same God?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's the same God. Yes, it's the same God, but you need to let in your life what He
right,
can do for you, not what He's doing through your parents' life, but through your
right,
life." You know,
absolutely. It just uh because if you can, especially for the kids that we were talking to, they're about to go to college,
yeah,
right? And if you have no foundation, not a solid foundation in who's your relationship with, how's your relationship with God, then when you go to college, or even when you get from high school and you have to get into this world when you're away from your parents, like, and you're not able to defend your faith, then you probably gonna lead a faith,
yeah,
because uh, you were not taking it seriously before. Now there are some people that come back to Christ. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just simply saying that when you are seeking God for yourself, things are your parents can tell you one thing, but you'll also be able to challenge your parents in some of their theologies, because our theologies sometimes are just traditional.
yeah.
You know what
I
I'm
grew
saying?
I grew up Catholic, so I know a lot about
You know
this.
what I'm saying? Absolutely. So when you stop doing youth,
Youth.
then what did you do after that? What are you doing
After
now?
with the youth, because me and my wife made a deal that I would do this at least this time and then do a year off or type thing at least, right?
Uh-huh.
And I got into the classroom with my wife because how it is. The only time you got with your wife was at church was for service only because we're at the youth.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, let me get in this class with her, and she'll tell you after a while it was like she preferred me not being in the class because
What were you doing, bro?
well, no, I wasn't doing anything. It was the fact that
You
you
going
know
off on people?
no, well, I was kind of bored sometimes, but the fact that that was I was going into her world in a way because I had been away for so long,
Okay.
and so
It felt
whenever
weird. Felt a
when I was
little
in
weird.
that class, and I loved it because I needed it too,
Yeah.
but at the same time I'm like just sit there like I can't do this, but I have to. And then I was reached out by the preaching pastor Burton, and I came on with them with fifth and sixth graders.
When?
Uh, at least 2 years now because
Oh
Feliciano was
wow.
Feliciano was under me for about a year, almost a
Okay.
year, and then they moved up, and I stayed behind because he said that the guys took a vote. They didn't want me moving up with them, and it's like okay, whatever. And so I
Somebody
took
took a vote and said that they didn't want you with them.
right. I was like, man, you know what
What?
you're missing out on, and especially going to camp. We have fun at camp, and
Yeah, that's
but
true.
um, so I'm still with the fifth and sixth graders. Matter of fact, I see your
Okay.
daughter now.
That's
And um,
Have you
man,
seen? Go ahead. What'd you say? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
man, I always adore y'all. Ever since I first met y'all, back at camp,
Yeah.
and I never forget your daughter when she was little. But
Oh my gosh.
I'm not getting into that story, but
Go
I still
ahead.
remember
Go ahead and tell the story, bro. Go
that.
ahead. I was wondering was you gonna get to that story.
No, man, it's just funny. I remember that is like
Dude,
I
that was like
forgot.
almost 9 years ago.
I know it was like I forget what the item was, but I just remember her saying something about y'all have sheets that mom and dad have sheets like that or something. I was like,
Yeah,
we're just here talking about something. She just,
it was leopard print or something like that.
yes,
And my daughter, I don't know how old was she at the time? Maybe 2 or 3,
something
maybe
like
two,
that. I just remember your
maybe
wife.
two,
She was like, oh
two
my
or three,
god,
bro. And she was like, somebody said showed or something, And she was like, my mom and dad got sheets like that. I was like, what?
I just
Why
remember
would
watching
she
face, man. She got
like
so.
she's true, and I can't get mad at it. Like, I mean,
Oh
she's
man.
telling the truth. It's just embarrassing at this moment. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know these people like that. And
But
this is how you bring us to Cross City. This is
you know how
crazy.
much I know how much y'all meant, you and Channel, everybody. It's just I still
Yeah.
have that shirt, the brown long sleeve shirt. I think Channel was wearing it that night.
Oh yeah,
And I was like, I like that shirt. And that's the one I because the back is about the Jesus. You
yeah.
know,
It's
and
all about using shirt.
yeah,
You still
and
got that?
I
Like I'm
still
thinking about bringing it back, bro.
because I never thought about the reason I kept it for so long, and I try to make sure not to wear it to I wear it so often.
Yeah.
But when I started to realize how real y'all were,
Mm.
because instead of him saying, "Well, I can get you one later," he actually took that one off and gave me that one.
That's what's up.
And of course, I had to go wash it. It was all sweaty.
Because he's sweating in it for sure. For sure. Yeah, they
You know,
doing really well right now. Matter of fact,
huh?
they're doing really well right now with their art of homage and stuff.
Okay.
They're doing really well. Say,
Yeah, man. I just love the fact getting to know y'all like that, and now
yeah,
here we are talking about dads, and
absolutely, man. Yeah, I wanted to talk about dads because I think that we, like I've said on other, like I said on before this, that we get bad reps. We even in the church, there's a Father's Day, but nothing happens for the Father's Day. I mean, we may get something as a,
oh, I know.
everybody stand up. I mean, it's not as I guess exuberant, if you will, as Mother's Day. Like people go out and we're out
Restaurants.
for Mother's Day, right? And I don't see it may be some podcasts out there about dads. I'm not sure, but what I know is that in my community of just people, even at the like I said at the church, a lot of dads are not getting the airtime that they so rightfully deserve. So I'm trying to put them on display. Is the whole purpose of this. So let me ask you this question.
Okay.
Uh, and you still have a kid in the house, but you're able to still probably answer this question. Are there things you wish you had done differently as a father or as a dad?
Oh man, every day I think about that, because like right now, me being involved with getting my higher education and stuff, being in school,
Yeah.
and working every day, and I work all day, and then I come home and I have maybe an hour or so before class starts, type thing.
Mm.
It's To be honest, it sucks at times because it's like, hey, I tell them, hey, and I got to come in here and lock myself in the room for a while, and he gets it, but I don't always get it. And that's why I don't like being here at home doing schooling. I'd rather be at the school because
Oh,
I feel that
okay.
I'm in the house with them, but I can't do nothing with them because, and they understand it. And Feliciano, man, he's always been a higher thinker than his age. So
Yeah. Right.
we had a great conversation. He gets it. It just, and I know he gets it. It's just I don't like that because I need to help my son grow, and I'm doing
Mhm.
the. I realize that God has gave him the right tools and gave me the tools to make it work the way it does. Because
Mm.
first of all, as I always said, your kids, my kids, they're not our kids. It's just God gave us, entrusted us with these little people
Yeah. Right.
to
That's true.
raise them, but at the same time, they're not ours. We don't own them.
Yeah.
In the day, they belong to God.
Yeah.
And
That's a good way of looking at it. That's a huge. That makes it even more of a major responsibility if we're saying that God has given us these children to steward them and to lead them in a direction that would be suiting to His liking. You know, so that's really good. I think you may have shared that with me before. Uh, so is that what you would say that's different?
oh
That
yeah,
you want to be different is to make sure that to try to figure out how much time Can you dedicate to him?
Yes.
The priority, yeah, prioritizing the time, man. I'm with you on that. That was tough, dude. Uh, that's why I make sure it's for me. I try to make sure that I'm at every practice or the practices that I can make. That I don't set a schedule. Like coming on here, I'm like, bro, I'm running a little late. I had my daughter's softball practice, and that's what's important. I'm not gonna say, okay, Gianna, let's leave early because I
Yeah.
gotta come do this. Yes, this is important, but her, working on her craft is more important, right? And you are understandable of that from father to father,
Yeah. I mean, you have to because like when Feliciano was small, for example, I helped with it. I was his t-ball coach,
Okay.
and at that time, I was involved with the apartment ministries, and so I was trying to level those plates out. And
Mm, yeah.
but the cool thing about that was I told the parents right off the bat, and this is still kind of like my early stage of coming to Christ type thing. And I had told them, I go, one, I did never plan to be a baseball player. That was never my goal.
Yeah.
Uh, so these kids are not going to be any. They're not going to be stars. I go, they're here for the fundamental, and the best part of that word is fun. They're going to have fun.
Yeah. Okay.
I go, every practice will end, and every game will end with prayer.
Okay.
And I go, if that offends y'all had a chance to be a coach. Y'all just step up to the plate.
That's a good point. That's a
I
good.
try to keep it real possible.
Yeah.
And it was funny because one day we left practice right away because I had a meeting to go to.
Yeah.
Following practice, I had this one day I come up to me. He goes, "Hey, I need to talk to you." I'm like, "Oh crud!" And I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" He goes, "Man," he goes, "Really, I don't care if y'all pray or not. That's." But he goes, "Man, going home." He goes, "My son told." He goes, "Dad, we forgot to pray because we did.
Whoa.
I had to hurry. We ran late to a meeting." But this kid told his dad, "Dad, we forgot to pray."
What? That's
Yeah,
dope, bro.
and I
That's
was like,
dope.
man,
Wow.
that's all I cared about right there was
Yeah.
that.
See, that's that. See, that's the part of like what I love about you because you're always trying to figure out a way to give back to the kids. you know. And I can see what it came from just speaking to you. I mean, I didn't really know about, the dad being in the house, but not really being there.
Yeah,
But you said it's basically like I know this void. Like I know what it feels like not to have a dad. Like and my mom was there. And
yeah,
my dad was there, but my mom was more in my life. But I recognized the whole of not having a dad there, right? Because I was telling somebody else, I said, man, listen, I didn't even feel like I was a man until I had my first kid. That was it. Like that was like at 30. You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel like I was a kid. I was a grown man, and I was already married, had a college degree, had a master's degree. I had a job or whatever. I was in my profession, but didn't think that I was a grown man yet because I felt there was a void of what a dad, how my dad was not in my life. Fortunately, I did have some men in my life that kind of helped me
yeah.
to kind of navigate fatherhood and being a dad. Did you have anybody in your life that was
Growing
like that?
up, growing up, I had a best buddy of mine, and still to this day, you know, um, his dad has always been one of those where like when we used to go to his house, when we used to, it used to be like his house was open to all of us, and it was one of those where man we'd spend the weekend, to spend the night, and his dad always had one rule though about us spending the night.
Okay,
Before we could play, he always had something for us to do around the house.
like some type of work.
Some type of work, because his dad was always doing something to the house. I think by now it's probably his own mansion by now, but I don't know how many floors the house has now. No, but it was always something, and sometimes at first it was like, man, I don't want to go. Sometimes I didn't want to go because I knew we were going to do something. It was like, screw it. But then I realized later on, it's like, man, he was teaching us stuff, you know.
Mm.
And even to this day, I recently, you know, me and my buddy, we're still brothers and all that. And, you know, he's like, even told me that he's proud of where I'm at in life. And we're on two different paths. And he knows where I stand on things. And, you know, but we still have that respect for each other. We have that love for each other.
Yeah.
And I told him, man, I was telling him that recently that about his dad. And I go, man, next time, I go, you should let Dad know because I appreciate everything he's done for us. And, you know, when I say us, I mean all our guys, you know, that went to that house. You know, they treat us like we're their own kids. You know, it wasn't like that wasn't Mr. and Mrs. Cervantes' little boy when they came to the house. You know, that's our kid right there. And so
That's cool.
we all got
that makes sense then. That makes sense of where what like okay, like where you are with what it is to be around a kid. So it's not just that you didn't have your dad in your life.
Yeah.
In the sense that you would think that he would be there, but you also had a guy that was a dad, and he came alongside you like you do with the youth.
Yeah, I
So
never thought. Yeah,
you see that
yeah,
like you're reciprocating what it is that you wanted, but you also had it, and now you're also doing it. That's pretty dope. God does stuff like that. That's
yeah. He
crazy.
does.
Did you
Yeah,
ever
he
think
does.
about that?
I never thought about that. Wow, just blew my mind there, Elijah.
Well, I try to analyze things. That's just me. I try to put
Oh,
pieces
I know.
together, try to figure out stuff, man.
Owned by Elijah after all these years.
Hey, that's what I do, man. All right, so now we're gonna segue to the to some fun questions.
Cool.
Okay, hopefully they're fun questions.
Yeah,
We'll see what you
we'll
think.
see.
Okay, let's see. What is your earliest memory?
My earliest memory.
Yeah.
Whew, I would say I one of my earliest memories was we were on I think we were a road trip somewhere, and I have two brothers. I'm the youngest of three. Put that
Okay.
out there. And
Three.
I was little, and I'm already getting on the picnic table at one of those rest stops, and you know it's all concrete, you know. And so I got on top of the table, and I put my hands over my brother's eyes and say, "Guess who?" You know, I was a little kid, not you know. And so
And the younger brother.
he turned, and it threw me off the thing, and I think that's when I busted my head open.
What?
But then I remember being at the hospital because they, you know, get stitches and stuff, and I open up my eyes, and you expect to see a nurse, a doctor, whatever standing over you. No, I got a freaking Spanish speaking Spider Man looking over me. You know, because they used to have characters come in, you know, and I was like, man, I know I have to be at least either 5 or somewhere under that age, man. And it was just crazy. It's like this is not what I expect to see when I wake up my eyes. What are my eyes? I don't want to see Spider Man because it's great. They use his webs. He shot his webs into my head. What?
Were you scared?
Well, yeah, it was kind of. It was like not like, oh crap, scare. It was a.
It's like what is
Yeah,
this?
like what type of hospital am I at? You know, like, dude, dude, you know.
That's crazy. That's great. That is man. I wasn't expecting you to go there, bro. That's pretty.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool memory though. That's a man, and that's vivid too.
Oh yeah.
That's funny. Let me ask you. Okay, here we go. I got
Yeah.
another one. Okay. What's the first album or CD that you ever bought? If
Oh,
you can remember. Can you remember it?
oh man. I don't remember. I know it had to be heavy metal something because I used to love a
Okay.
lot of metal. But shoot, top of my head, I really don't remember.
Okay. So heavy metal. So who was your favorite group then?
Oh man, ever since I was a kid, that one is another story over there.
Okay.
I went to private school for about 7.5 years.
Okay.
Second grade is when I made my communion, my first communion, and I remember the picture. I had this nun, which was very close to me. Her name was Sister Teresa, Behind me was also my dad. And then
Okay.
I looked at the picture one day. I looked at it real close because my shirt was like tucked in and then not tucked in the back. You know, like little way. Man, I was styling it before people were styling it. And I looked at my belt. I looked at my belt buckle. I'm at a Catholic school, private school, and I zoomed in one day at this picture, and I can't find it no more. My buckle was a kiss buckle.
What?
Yes.
Your parents bought you a Kiss belt?
I don't know if they bought it for me or my brother gave it to me, but anyway, I was wearing
Yeah,
a
you
kiss.
had it though.
I
A
was wearing
Kiss?
a kiss belt buckle at a private school.
That's crazy. Listen, bro, I don't even know what to say to that, bro. Like, how did
When I thought
you?
back, when I looked at it, I was like, that explains a lot about me now.
So what was give me a Kiss song?
Oh man, was it? Yeah, Destroyer stuff like that. It just I liked a lot of their stuff, but I always been a. I got older, man. I like everything. Well, ever since high school, man, I think I liked everything, every type of genre. It's just to me, it's whatever I can feel the beat to. I have
Yeah.
no musical talents, but I just love beat, no matter if it's hip hop, rock, whatever.
Okay, that's what's up. I didn't know that you like rock like that.
Oh man, I loved it. I love it all. I mean, like
I'm
my
saying that. I'm saying like when you were younger, like your first things
oh
were
yeah,
rock.
my older brothers, they used to listen to all like the old classic rock stations and stuff. And so I kind of listened to whatever they had on. It wasn't,
Uh,
being the youngest, you don't have control of nothing. You can't control the TV, you can't control the
oh,
radio.
you are the oldest.
Oh, see, you're that guy. Okay,
Yes, I'm that. That's
you can
probably
listen
where
to.
some of my problems come from too. Yeah, for real. Like I always got to have it my way. That's how it is. All right. Well, I'm gonna ask you this last question. Well, I got two questions. This is another fun question. Let's see. It is, what are the three happiest moments in your life so far?
I'm still waiting for the. No, I'm kidding. Uh,
Please don't let people know that, Felix.
three happiest moments. Wow.
Yeah.
Uh,
Don't have to be in any order.
yeah, no. Knowing that, even though like I said, I already had kids before we had Feliciano.
Mhm.
But that was my first flesh and blood. And when we got the night of delivery or day of delivery, when the doctor actually or the nurses put him in my arms,
Yes.
I was like, wow,
Yeah.
this really is going on. This is happening.
Mhm.
I can't believe it.
I remember that feeling.
Happiest, and then knowing that I made a different status in life now as being a grandpa.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
or that's great too. I don't get to see them right now, but we prior to them going, we were up in Kansas all the time as much as we could be because my
Yeah.
son was stationed in Kansas, and
Yeah.
so knowing that, and then what is it? The happiest moment really is just I don't know, just I know it sounds maybe cliche because we're involved with church and all that, but and we mentioned him earlier, Tate. Seeing
Mm,
make that cycle that we've been through,
yeah.
and knowing that we had something to do with that,
Crazy.
and that God entrusted. Once again, that's one thing God entrusted us with was kids that didn't belong to us.
Yeah. And we
You know,
gave it real too, man. Like we
huh?
ain't sugarcoat nothing with them. We kept it real with them too.
See, that's the word that I'm glad you said that because me and him were talking recently, and because I get to see him every Sunday and stuff, and um, we are talking about some work and stuff. He wants when they get a tattoo,
Okay.
and when he told me what it is, it's a Hebrew word. I was like, okay, what is it? The word that you just said, what we did,
What?
real, real. He goes, because you always kept it real with us.
What?
He goes,
What?
yeah. He goes, that's the thing. He goes, that's one thing about you, Felix. You always kept it real.
I see him every Sunday too, man.
You know, it's true because
Yeah.
with them guys, they saw what you saw with me sometimes. You know, my
Yeah.
good days, my bad days.
Yep.
And when I have my bad days, I just couldn't lead them. I didn't feel right leading them for something.
Yeah.
And
We talked about that, right? We was like, man, we told them too. We was like, man, y'all make us not want to come here, man.
yes, we guilt trip them sometimes.
Man, yeah, we're like, we coming over here, man. We could be somewhere else, bro. We missing our wives, man. We trying to be over here talking to y'all about this gospel, and y'all act like y'all don't want it. Like, what's up? What's the? Yeah, and they seem to respect that.
Yeah, because we weren't your. I would say in some ways, I'm glad I wasn't a normal Sunday school teacher with them. You know, it got me a lot of heat sometimes, I think, but
Yeah,
I wound up being, like I said, with friends, churches from other churches, and I got students from other churches that keep in contact with me and stuff still on IG and Facebook and stuff, you know, and they appreciate everything I've done for them. And it's like, I'm like I said before, the old saying goes, I'm just a nobody that's trying to tell everybody about
somebody.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's what's up. Well, that concludes our episode number 2 interview with a dad. Shout out to Felix for coming in. Please like, share, subscribe, comment on the thread, and we'll be having some more of these, man. Anything you want to say, Felix, before we get out?
Other than that, if you're not sure if you're a dad or a father, do your best to be a dad. Just love on those kids to the fullest. Remember, they're not yours; they're God's.
And we out. Appreciate you, Felix. Have a good one, man.
Much love.
Much love, man.